Students, I am Kirti Bhosle, Assistant Professor working in NB Navle Sinhagad College of Engineering, Solapur, and I am dealing with the subject Structural Mechanics 3, that is Analysis of Indeterminate Structure. And our today's topic is Stiffness Matrix Method Part 1. Okay, so these will be the contents, some definitions we have to see, then concept of stiffness, advantages and limitations of this method, comparison between flexibility and stiffness method, then derivation of stiffness matrix, properties of stiffness matrix, stiffness equation, then analysis steps for beams, and then we have to see what are the slope deflection equations. Now we'll go to definition part. First definition is stiffness. It will be denoted by S or K. It is the force required to produce unit displacement in the structure, and you know the displacement may be rotation or translation. Now the second definition, stiffness coefficient, it will be represented by Sij or Kij. It is the force produced in ith direction due to unit deformation in jth direction when all other deformations are kept 0. Okay, now you can judge from the definition that stiffness is inversely proportional to flexibility. Okay, then stiffness method is also called as displacement method because the unknowns are displacement. This method is suitable for computer programming, and this method is one of the equilibrium method. Okay, now you can see in the diagram that when we apply a load to a spring and if we go on increasing that load, then displacement, that is delta, will also go on increasing. We can say that P is directly proportional to delta. Then P is equal to K delta, applying K as proportionality constant, and which is also called as spring constant or stiffness. Okay, now advantages of this method. The choice of unknown in this method is unique, means you can either choose theta or delta. So this method is suitable for computer programming, and all commercial softwares are running on this method only. Okay, then limitation, one is the limitation because we get unknown displacements first, and then we have to find out the unknown forces. As you have seen already that in force methods we were getting directly the unknown forces, but here we will get unknown displacements first, and then on the basis of unknown displacements we can calculate unknown forces. Okay, so this is the one drawback of this method. Then go to comparison of flexibility and stiffness method. Yes, first will be the point of comparison is definition. Flexibility, displacement produced in the unit direction while all other actions are absent. Okay, and under stiffness method, the definition of stiffness, force required to produce unit displacement while other displacements are kept 0. Okay, now in flexibility method we will require degree of static indeterminacy, and here degree of kinematic indeterminacy. Then in flexibility, forces are not unique, means we can choose horizontal reaction, vertical reaction or moment, any force as redundant, but here we can choose only displacement, it may be theta or delta. Then compatibility condition is used, and here equilibrium condition we are going to use. Okay, and in flexibility we get directly unknown reactions, and in here we will get first the displacements and then unknown reactions or unknown forces. Okay, now we'll move to the derivation of stiffness matrix. Okay, so you can see in question diagram, this is two span continuous beam, A is fixed support, B is intermediate roller support, and C is end roller support. Okay, now step 1, to find dki. You know dki is nothing but it is related with the unknown displacement in the structure, degree of kinematic indeterminacy, and we have earlier seen in unit 1 that what is the equation for dki? degrees of freedom into number of joints minus support reactions. Yes, degrees of freedom for beam 3, then number of joints A, B, C 3 and minus support reactions. Yes, support reaction at A 3, at B 1 and at C 1. So total 5. Now you can see that dki is 4 and dki is unknown displacement. So what are these number 4? Okay, so it is theta b, that is rotation at B, theta c, rotation at C, and delta at B in x direction and delta c in x direction. But you can see that as compared to the length of the span of these beams, okay, this delta will be very small, therefore we can neglect this, and we have written over here neglecting axial deformation. Okay, so this we will keep as 0 and then the total dki will be 2, which is theta b and theta c. Okay, now step 2, we'll go to step 2. Okay, to generate stiffness matrix, we have here assumption, assume clockwise displacements as positive. In that part A, yes, part A is related to first redundant, that is theta at B. Okay, so to produce theta at B, we have to apply moment at B, and of course positive. Therefore we have written apply a moment at B which produce unit displacement. Okay, so here, yes, you can see in the diagram that yes, here we have applied moment, clockwise moment for span AB, clockwise moment for span BC. Okay, to produce theta B is equal to 1. Okay, and according to definition, we have to keep other displacements 0. We have to keep other displacement 0. Therefore, C will become the fixed support. Okay, C is now becomes fixed support, and accordingly theta C is equal to 0. Okay, now yes, as this is first step or related to first redundant, J is equal to 1. Okay, so J is equal to 1. Now for this, yes, this moment, it is action required to produce unit displacement. Will at joint A, at joint B will be S11. I am taking S as stiffness. Okay, so S11, and for span AB L, and for span BC R. Okay, so and this S11R will get carried over to another end C, because C is now fixed end, therefore half will be carried over to end C. Okay, and what about stiffness element at C? Yes, S, J is 1, and what will be I? Yes, I is 2, because C is the point of second redundant, theta C. Okay, therefore S11 and S21. First we will get value of S11 equal to S11L plus S11R. So what is the amount of moment required to produce displacement theta? It is 4 EI theta by L. Here theta is theta B, so theta B by L, and on similar lines 4 EI theta B by L for span BC. So theta B is 1 because unit displacement, therefore 4 EI by L plus 4 EI by L, total is 8 EI by L. Okay, now second element of stiffness matrix, we have seen that S11R will get carried over to end C. Okay, so this is S21, and S21 is half of S11R, which is 2 EI by L. Okay, next go to part B. Now this is related to the second unknown, or theta C, that is we have to produce we have to apply a moment at C to produce theta C is equal to 1. Therefore apply moment at C which produces unit displacement at C. Okay, so now you can see in the diagram that yes, for theta C we have applied moment at C, and this will be carried over to joint B because it is fixed support. Okay, and here J is equal to 2, so this is S22, this moment is S22 and this moment is S11, 2. We will get first value of S22, which is 4 EI theta C by L. Theta C is 1, 4 EI by L, and S12 of course half of this moment. Okay, so half of S22, which is 2 EI by L. So now we have derived stiffness matrix. S is equal to EI by L. Get EI by L as common outside the stiffness matrix, and 8, 2, 2, 4. So these are the all elements of stiffness matrix. Then we will go to second example, and here we have now the span values. Okay, so A is again fixed support, B roller intermediate, and C end roller support. Okay, again step 1 is degree of kinematic indeterminacy, degrees of freedom into number of degrees of freedom into number of joints minus support reactions, as in the last example. So it is 4, and neglecting delta Bx and delta Cx, we will have degrees of kinematic indeterminacy as 2, which is rotation at B and rotation at C. So these are the two unknowns, redundants you can say. Okay, now go to step 2 to derive stiffness matrix. In that part A, okay, apply clockwise movement at B to produce theta B equal to 1, and of course theta C is equal to 0. Other displacement should be 0. So now concentrate on this diagram again. So moment applied at B, moment applied at B, first span AB, first span BC. Yes, this will be S11 L and R, and this will be S11 R will be carried over half to the C and S21, because J is 1 for this step. Okay, now so S11 value you will get first S11 L plus S11 R, which is 4 EI theta B by L plus 4 EI theta B by L, first span AB, first span BC. So write down the L values accordingly, and you will get 1.8 EI. Okay, first element. Then second element S21. Now you can see S21 is half of this moment, that is S11 R, half of S11 R, 0.5 EI. Okay, now go to part B. Theta C equal to 1. We have to produce theta C, second redundant, theta C is equal to 1. Therefore provide moment at C. Okay, and it will be carried over to end B, because B is now fixed support, to produce theta B is equal to 0. Now as this is B part, J is equal to 2. So the force at C will have the title as S22, and at B S12. Okay, so now we will get value of S22 first, 4 EI by L, that L is 4, 4 EI by 4, that is EI. Okay, EI. Then S12 will be half of S22, therefore 0.5 EI. Okay, so we have derived this stiffness matrix taking EI outside 1.8, 0.5, 0.5, 1. Okay, so in this way we have derived the stiffness matrix for two examples. Okay, so we can conclude from these two examples that what are the properties of stiffness matrix. It is a square matrix. Okay, then all principal diagonal elements may be positive or negative. It is a symmetrical matrix about principal diagonal, and then last is order of stiffness matrix is degree of kinematic indeterminacy. If dki is 2, 2 by 2 matrix. If dki is 3, 3 by 3 matrix. Okay, so degree of kinematic indeterminacy is equal to order of stiffness matrix. Okay, now we move to stiffness equation. Yes, what is this stiffness equation? Yes, P plus K delta equal to PD. We will see one by one these terms. Okay, so what is this P? It is the action due to external load. Okay, action due to external load. K stiffness matrix, delta unknown displacement matrix, that may be theta B, theta C, theta A. Okay, accordingly. Then PD, what is this PD? PD is the force applied in the direction of displacement, that is equal to, and it will be equal to 0. It will be equal to 0 if there is no rotation or sinking of support. Okay, like flexibility matrix. So PD will be equal to 0 when it is not rotation of support or sinking of support. Okay, otherwise it will have some value. Then analysis steps for beams. First step is to find degree of kinematic indeterminacy, of course neglecting axial deformation. Then to generate P matrix, then to generate stiffness matrix, then to find unknown displacement using stiffness equation, which we have discussed now. And then next step 5 will be to find final moments using slope deflection equation. Please read this as slope deflection equations. Okay, then and last step will be SFD and BMD. So we will require slope deflection equation. So these are the derived equations and these are the standard equations. Depending on this, we will find out final moments by using the unknown displacements. Okay, once we got the unknown displacements, then we will be able to find out final moments by these slope deflection equations. Okay, and this final moment will depend on the type of support conditions. Okay, so now here is the first case, A, B, C. A is fixed support, B intermediate support, and C is fixed support. So in that case, MAB, what will be MAB, that is moment AB, which will be MFAB plus 2 EI by L into 2 theta A plus theta B. So what is the support condition here for MAB? A is fixed support and B is intermediate support. Okay, then this equation. Then go to part MBA. Okay, so MBA, this will be the moment MBA. For MBA, what is the support condition? B is near end, A is far end, B is intermediate support, and A is fixed support. Then the equation will be MFBA plus 2 EI by L into theta A plus 2 theta B. Okay, now MBC. For MBC, yes, B is near end and C is far end and it is fixed support. Therefore, MFBC plus 2 EI by L into 2 theta B plus theta C. Now, last is the moment CB. Moment CB. For CB, C is near end, B is far end, C fixed support and B intermediate support. Therefore, MFCB plus 2 EI by L into theta B plus 2 theta C. So using this we can find out final moments. Then second case is modified slope deflection equation when other support in hinge, roller or simple support. So you can see in the diagram A, B, C continuous beam, A is simple end support, B is intermediate support and C again end simple support. Okay, so what will be the modified slope deflection equation? First is MAB, as this is simple support and simple end support, MAB is 0. For MBA, yes, for MBA, B is near end and A is far end and it is simple support. Therefore, MFBA minus MFAB by 2 plus 3 EI by L into theta B. Okay, now next is MBC. For MBC, B is near support and C is other support far end and it is simple support. Therefore, MFBC minus MFCB by 2 plus 3 EI by L into theta B. And yes, MCB, it is as it is end simple support, MCB should be equal to 0. So these are the modified slope deflection equation and you can always find out final moments using these two standard cases, standard set of slope deflection equation depending on the support condition. Okay, thank you.